All right, welcome, listeners. And I am just so happy today. We have a wonderful guest. Her name is Jael the Great. Miss Jael is a professor. She's a life coach, a dynamic speaker. She is known for a powerful message called You Are Perfect for Your Purpose.
Yeah.
She's worked with many legends. She is a sought out keynote speaker and she's an author, all the things. But above all, she is a mother, and she has come on this show to tell us her story. So, welcome, Jael. Thank you
Thank
so much for
you.
blessing
Thank
us.
you. I love talking about being a mom. I feel so blessed that I was chosen to be a mother. Like the circumstances weren't what I thought, and I didn't understand it at the time, but it makes so much sense to me now. I'm
Mm,
so grateful. I'm so honored being a mom.
wow.
Like it's everything.
Yeah, it's such a gift.
Yeah.
It is such a gift. And I think sometimes when you go through the struggles and you go through, when you're in it, you don't really know until the
Oh
time
no.
passes.
No. No, you don't. So I'm grateful.
Mm.
I'm glad to talk about it. I am.
Mm. Tell me about your journey to motherhood. How was pregnancy? How did you find out you were pregnant? What were all the emotions you were experiencing? Talk about it.
Mhm. So it's a movie, just like I'm sure everybody's life is a movie. And me being a film producer, the way my mind is wired, everything is definitely a movie or a scene for me. So
Hmm.
to make a very long story short, I got pregnant as a teen. My father is a pastor, my mother is an educator. So I come from a family. I tell people like the way that the Cosby show is, that was normal for me. Like in
Mm.
my, even though I grew up in a predominantly white area, the core group of people, like the people you go to church with, your parents' friends, all of my parents' friends, everybody was married. So like all, I'm not even exaggerating, like all of my friends' parents were together and still are,
Wow.
unless someone has passed away. They were all extremely well educated. They all graduated from HBCUs. So I grew up in that type of life. So for me, that wasn't supposed to happen to me, right? Not only that, I got pregnant like the first guy, first boyfriend, I got pregnant immediately. And
Wow.
I'm like, God, are you kidding me? Like my friends have been having sex forever, right? And then here I go immediately.
Mm.
So, so I didn't think I was pregnant, right? But I think I was having like maybe I can't some symptoms of something, but I was like,
Mm.
oh, it's not pregnancy. So my one of my girlfriends, she was like, well, I think I'm pregnant. So she was like, we need to go take pregnancy tests. And I was like,
Mm.
well, I'm not pregnant. She was like, well, let's just go to the clinic and we'll just see. So we went and she went for a pregnancy test. I went just to get checked out because I didn't know what was happening. The lady comes in the room and was like, oh, both of you are pregnant.
Oh my
And I was
gosh.
like, there's no way. Like, I mean,
Wow.
I just started having sex. There's no way that I'm pregnant. I was.
Mm.
So that same friend, you always have your fast friends. It's just what it is.
Mm-hmm. It is what it is.
It's just what it is. She had already had an abortion, honey. So she was like, oh, we need to go to the abortion clinic. I don't know anything about an abortion clinic. So should we go to the abortion clinic?
Mm.
And we both make appointments. She'd been there already, so she kind of knew the process and all that. I didn't. I just knew like I was in fear and I was like, I cannot have a baby. Like my parents are going to kill me. My father's a pastor, my mother's an educator. I have
Mm.
dreams and goals. Like there's no way I can have a baby. And it was more so me being afraid to tell my parents because I thought they were going to kill me. The other things, they fell second to the fear that I had about my parents,
Mm.
disappointing my parents. So anyway, she and I both made the appointment. The day we went, the lady said that I wasn't far enough along to
Mm.
whatever they do. And so I was like, okay. So she said, you have to make another appointment. I said, okay. So I made another appointment. I told my daughter's father, I said, I'm having an abortion. I said, it costs whatever. I said, I need the money by this date. He was like, no problem. So the date came and my girlfriend, the same girlfriend, because you don't, well, I didn't tell anybody else that I was pregnant because I was going to abort my child. So I'm not going around telling people. So the only people that knew were my daughter's father and my girlfriend. So my girlfriend was going to take me. I set up a ride, but that the day came, he didn't have the money. I'm
Mm,
like, you've got to be kidding me. So the people were like, okay, we'll set another appointment, but we don't. The next appointment, we don't have another appointment until March 11th. That's my birthday.
mm,
So again, I'm making decisions in fear. And I tell people, don't you ever make a decision in fear. You make your decisions in love.
mm,
But I remember I was in fear. So I'm making these choices, insane choices out of fear. So I made an appointment to have an abortion on my birthday. You can't be in your right mind.
mm,
So I was like, well, okay, I guess that's what I have to do. So I remember being at home and my dad came into my bedroom and my dad said, he said, are you pregnant? And I was
wow.
like, no, like my mom did, like my dad, and I'm
Wow.
like, my dad, I'm ultimate daddy's girl. So my dad was like, are you pregnant? And I was like, God, no, dad, of course not. I don't know how he
Mm,
knew. So, but remember, I planned to do the abortion on my birthday, March 11th.
yeah.
So March 11th, and I have the money, but I don't have a ride. Because
Mm,
remember, I only told two people. She wasn't available and he wasn't available. So I was like, my God. So let me tell y'all, the same girlfriend, she and I
mm,
went on a double date with these two guys to the movies. And I remember we were in the bathroom and the Holy Spirit said to me, as plain as I'm talking to you all, don't abort her, that's your daughter.
mm,
And I started crying and I said to my girlfriend, I said her name, I said, we'll call her Sarah. I said, Sarah, did you hear that? And she was like, what?
wow.
And I mean, because I heard it audibly. And I said, did you hear that? And the Holy Spirit said it again. It said, don't abort her, that's your daughter. And I started boohooing in the bathroom of a movie theater. Okay, so now
Wow.
y'all know at this point, I'm like, okay, I'm pregnant. I'm accepting it. I'm not going to abort my daughter. Like
Mm,
God told me, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm having a girl. There's
wow.
no way. So I call my mom because I'm afraid to tell my mom in person. I call my
Mm,
mom and I say, I'm crying. I'm like, oh my God, mom. I was like, something is wrong with me. I don't know. Something is wrong with me. She was like, calm down,
mm,
baby. What's wrong? I said, I don't know. She said, well, what do you mean? What's wrong? And
mm,
I said, I don't know. I said, I haven't had a period. And I said, and I don't know. She
mm,
said, well, if you haven't had a period, she said, you need to get a pregnancy test.
mm,
And I said, "Oh, okay. I already knew I was pregnant.
mm.
So
You
she was like,
prepping her. You prepping her. You got to
right,
prep some
girl.
about parents.
Yes. So I'm like, okay. So I wait a couple days and I call her because again, I call because I don't want to do
Mm,
the face thing. I call my mom again. I was like, hi, mom. And she's like, hi. And I started crying again immediately. And I was just like, I don't know. I just don't know. She was like, what's wrong? She said, calm down. And I said, I'm pregnant. No, I
mm,
think she said, did you take the pregnancy test? I said, yes. She said, well, what did it say? And I was like, I'm pregnant. And she said, that's okay. She said,
mm,
she said there are 12-year-old girls having babies every day. She said, if they
mm.
can make it, you can make it. She said, just don't have any more until you get married, and we will help you as long as you need us to. She said,
Wow.
because your life will go on. She said, you have to do everything you plan to do, and you will be great. Nothing stops. You
Wow.
have the baby and you keep it moving.
Wow.
And my dad to this day never one time ever said anything negative to me. So I was
Wow.
you hear all that I was going, tormenting myself, trying
Yeah.
to abort a baby on my birthday. That is insane. No judgment to anybody. I'm just telling my story.
Mm.
For my mom to say, well, it's okay, just have the baby and you got to go to college. You got to do, what do you mean? What are you saying? It's okay.
Wow. And once you began and you moved the pregnancy far along, and how was your childbirth experience at that age? And did you have to read up on pregnancy, and what was your understanding at that young,
I
tender
know,
age of what
right?
it meant?
I know. I didn't understand any of that.
Mm,
I didn't know, I didn't, I might have read a little bit, but when you are that young,
mm,
bringing a child into this world, I mean, all you know is like, okay, I'm having a baby.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't do the things that I would probably do now, getting pregnant now. So I literally just went through I only got sick in the very beginning if I didn't eat. So
Wow.
I remember in the very beginning, if I didn't eat, I would feel like I was about to pass out. And then towards the end of the pregnancy, so I had a beautiful pregnancy. That towards the end, I had really bad heartburn because my daughter was
Mm.
born with like so much hair,
Wow.
like her hair was like down her back, like when she was born.
Oh. How was that? How was labor? How did you do
Oh, that's
in
a
the
good
labor
question.
process? Yeah.
So labor was 8 hours. I didn't do
Mm.
any drugs because I wanted my baby to be drug free.
Mm-hmm.
So I did it all natural, vaginal birth, no medicine. My beautiful baby, 8 pounds, 4 ounces. She was perfect. And
Mm.
I did have to get stitches.
I mean, it sounds like you managed the childbirth pretty good, minus the stitches part. And when you went home, how was it taking care of a baby as a teenager? And how was the family environment? How did you
So that's when
do?
the postpartum kicked in.
Mm.
And I didn't know what that was. I don't think I ever heard that term. You know what I mean? Like, especially at that,
Yeah.
I don't think I even ever heard of that before. And I remember getting home. I remember
Mm.
my aunt was staying with us because she was teaching school. She wanted to finish out the school year because she and her husband
Mm-hmm.
moved.
Okay.
So she didn't want to like leave her school in the middle of the year. So she was there in one of our guest bedrooms. So she was there to help. My parents were amazing. My
Mm.
daughter would get up every 2 hours on the dot like clockwork.
Oh my gosh. And breastfeed? Were you breastfeeding or
I
formula
tried to.
feeding?
She was like, no,
Mm.
ma'am. She was like, what are you doing? What is this? What are we doing?
Oh my
So I didn't
gosh.
breastfeed. I tried.
Mm.
And she was allergic to, she could not
Milk.
keep, she couldn't keep it, the formula,
The milk, was it the milk?
she couldn't keep it down. And she was amazing. And then I started having, so she would get up every 2 hours on the dot,
Mm.
literally. So I think that was a lot for me because you go from the baby in your belly,
Mm-hmm.
like the baby physically out of you. We've never done, especially as your first baby, you've never done that before. You have no idea what to expect. You don't, every child is different. You don't know.
Exactly.
So that was a lot on me mentally. Just, it was a lot anyway, but that was just a lot, just every 2 hours getting up. And I remember I told my mom, I said, Mom, please come get her. I feel like I want to throw her out the window.
Mm.
But nobody told me that was postpartum depression,
Wow.
right? Nobody explained it to me. So thank God I had my mom. And here's the thing, people are so judgmental when it comes to postpartum. And
Yep.
then I hear from women who've never had babies that are judgmental. And when I
Yep.
tell you, I let them have it in a nice way, in love.
Mm-hmm.
But I let them have it because I'm like, you have no idea
Mm-hmm.
what a woman is going through after she births a baby during the pregnancy. We don't
Yep.
know. So for you to judge someone for, I mean, when people have done things that just they are out of their minds for that moment,
Exactly.
and people judge them, but you can't, you don't know.
You have
You
no
don't know. And
idea.
you got to think about all the different circumstances. Like, think about it. There are women who go to the hospital, have the baby, they have no one.
Mm-hmm.
They have no one to go home to. It's just them and the baby. And they're trying to figure it out. And the baby's getting up every 2 hours. And the
Mm-hmm.
baby can't drink the formula. The baby's right, or their baby is sick. You don't know what people are
Yeah.
going through before, during the pregnancy, after. So I just always tell people that you have to be gracious, especially when it's
Yeah.
something you've never experienced. You don't know.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's interesting. You say when people who've never had kids sometimes do a lot of the judging. And I feel like it's this we you hear all this news, right? Like tell somebody, report somebody, tell somebody if you're feeling some sort of way. But because of the judgment that women face, a lot of people are like at the place where they're like, I don't want to say nothing because I'm pretty sure there's going to be this conversation, there's going to be this
Yeah.
judgment. And so a lot of women end up just going through these things on their own because it's like you don't know somebody's going to take your baby away. You don't know what judgment somebody's going to cast on you.
Yeah.
So it's really an unfortunate situation because then you're stuck within your mind, right? And your mind is doing all sorts of things. And it's like, how do you process these thoughts that you're going through? It's
Yeah.
literally insanity.
Yes. So I always pray for mothers. And I
Mm,
wish I want more moms to really know how amazing they are and celebrate
mm,
themselves and love on themselves and
mm,
take time out for themselves because it's a beautiful thing that we're doing.
mm. How did you get to that place, right? Because I'm just thinking of you as a teenager and you where you are now. How did you get through like your depression and get to a place of thriving? How can we learn from you?
Right. So I think for me, because I was so young, for sure having that support system that
Mm,
helped me. Because when I said to my mother, come get her, because that's how I felt.
mm,
My mind was like, throw her out the window. Of course, I wasn't going to do that, but that's
mm,
what I felt like. I felt like a wall closing in. So I remember my mom immediately came in the room. My mom got my daughter
mm,
and she fed her and changed her and did whatever she needed to do. And she just talked to me, lots of prayer. My dad's a pastor, so
mhm,
they prayed for me and they spoke life into me. So I would say to a woman, even if it's not your parents, because I'm sure most of the women on here are probably not teen moms,
mm.
teenagers at this point.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it's important to have a great support system. So if you can find, even if it's a group of strangers that you don't know, but a place, a safe space. If there's like a group, they have like meetups and stuff.
Hmm.
Just find safe spaces for you to be able to talk about what you're going through so you won't feel like you're going through alone. And find people, I don't whatever you believe in your spirit life, whatever you believe, but find people that you can pray with. Find people that
Mm,
can speak life into you and build you up. I know that for me is what got me through. So just having people that I could trust. You don't need a lot of people. If you have one good one that you can talk to and confide in and say, today is not a good day. I
mm.
don't, you know what I mean? You even if it's one, it's quality, it's not quantity.
Yeah.
So finding a good support system and you know what else I would do, and I learned that just early from my parents. They always taught me to speak the desired outcome. So that
Mm.
was instilled in me young. You know what I mean?
Manifesting.
Like,
Hmm.
right. So speak the desired outcome. I can handle this.
Yeah.
God chose me for this for a reason. I'm equipped for this. So I had to build myself up. So we have to build ourselves up as mothers. You're not going to be perfect. There is no perfect mom. So let that go. But what I learned to do is to only speak life into my daughter. I never
Mm.
say anything negative to my daughter because life and death is in the power of your tongue. So with a child, that's a seed,
Mm.
right? Your words are going to harvest. So one thing I can say, having raised an exceptional daughter, I always spoke life into her. You talk
Mm.
to your child, speak to them with love
Absolutely.
because all of that affects children. Everything we say, our energy, it affects them. So as parents, I tell them, my book is called Loving Your Daughter to Greatness,
Mm.
not talking to her negatively, not, oh, you're just like your dad. We no,
Mm.
loving her to greatness.
Absolutely.
So yeah, as a mom, don't worry about her because God says, why are you worrying? It doesn't add a
Yeah.
cubit to your stature. What you doing?
Yeah.
Ask me for
Absolutely.
guidance. God, show me how to raise this daughter because she's children are different. She's not you. You can't do her how your mom did you. Your daughter is not you.
What pieces of advice would you give our listeners, our moms? Three pieces of advice.
Okay. I think the first thing would be if you have experienced or are experiencing postpartum depression,
Mm,
please know that it's okay and you are not alone. Because sometimes we feel like we are by ourselves and we're not.
mm,
You are not the only one, I promise you. And this too shall pass.
yeah.
I promise you that this too shall pass. So that's one thing. Give yourself grace. I don't know if that's two or that goes into it, but give yourself grace as a mother, whether you are a married mother, a single mother, a teen mother, a mother that's 50 having your first baby, because that happens all the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's with us Black women, baby, because we are magic,
Listen.
magic, whatever stage you're in with
Oh
your
my
child.
gosh.
Give yourself grace,
Mm-hmm.
especially if it's your first time. You don't know what you're doing. It's
Yep.
okay.
It's okay.
It's
It is
okay.
okay.
Okay. And then even if you get do it, my sister have a little eight piece, all of them are different.
Yep.
So give yourself grace to
Yep.
parent each child differently. So I
Exactly.
would definitely say give yourself grace. I will also say, please take time out for yourself. You are not just a
Mm.
mom. You can still be fabulous.
Yep.
Remember, you're still a person outside of just being a mom. That's just something else added unto who you are, having this human experience as a spirit being. That's
Mm.
just another, oh, now you're a mom, right?
Yep.
So that's not all you are. You're still sexy. You're still
Mm-hmm.
beautiful. Keep yourself up. Do not let yourself go. Do not let yourself go.
Mm-hmm.
Let your child see what the example that you would want to see, right? So moms, honey, you are still a beautiful, fly, sexy, gorgeous woman. You're
Amen.
not just a mom. So don't lose yourself in just being a mom or just being a wife. You are so much more than that. And you
Mm.
want your kids to see you thriving as your own person. They need to
Absolutely.
know I'm not just a mother, I'm a person. I date or
Absolutely.
I'm married. You know what I mean? Like I'm a person.
Mm-hmm.
I have dreams, I have goals, I paint, I write, I do poetry, I sing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I'm a photographer, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
doctor, I love doing my hair. Yeah. So I think those would be the three things.
Absolutely. And all great advice. And you have an example of a mom doing it all right here.
Yes.
So, right. And you
Listen.
start off as a teen mom and look at you now, all
Yes.
these hats you wear. So it is definitely possible. And people needed to hear that 100%. So
Yes.
thank you so much. If
Thank you.
somebody's looking for a life coach or
Yes,
they're
I'm
looking to
here.
reach you, how can they find you? How can they contact you?
Absolutely. Please just email me. It's my name, Jael. Everything is Jael the Great. Literally my
Mm-hmm.
website, my Instagram, everything is my name, Jael the Great. So just email me at jaelthegreat.com. I mean jaelthegreat at Gmail. And just send me an email and say I would love for you to be my life coach. And I take
Mm.
insurance. So
Oh,
if you have commercial
wow.
insurance, yes.
Amazing.
Right? So you
Right.
don't have to just pay. You
Girl,
don't just have to pay
you
out
gotta
of
say that
pocket.
again.
I know I take commercial insurance.
Oh my
So if you
gosh.
have that good insurance, honey, come get this mental health care. I got
Wow.
you. And I really love it. Like my clients, they change. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing to see how somebody
Mm,
comes in with their life coaching and how they just shift and their
mm.
confidence is changed. Right? It's just beautiful. So I
I
got you.
love that. Okay. Oh my gosh. Well, thank
Yay.
you so much for coming on this show. And I am looking forward to having you back for other
Absolutely.
topics.
Absolutely.
Yes. Oh man, so it has been wonderful. And this is your episode of Fourth Trimester Voices. Take care. If you live in the Atlanta, Georgia area, I want you to consider working with EM Care to You. And this is my concierge medical company, and we offer comprehensive care for mothers postpartum. I started the company because I saw a need. I was taking care of so many postpartum moms that had a need, and I wanted to provide a solution for their problem. So at EM Care to You, we provide access to in-home lactation support, pelvic floor physical therapy, mental health support, and more. You can learn more about this at emcaretouYou.com. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Fourth Trimester Voices. If you have any questions about today's episode or you want to share your story, please email us at fourthtrimestervoices@gmail.com. My name is Dr. Choa, and it's been lovely talking with you all today. Take care.